So it's not rocket science to see that the roster that's currently constructed by the Indiana Fever is not suited in any way, and I mean in any way, to like show off the skills of Caitlin Clark. You've got some decent players. Like, don't get me wrong, Aaliyah Boston's a really good player. And I think that Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark have proven they can work together, especially in the pick and roll in the half court. Maybe not necessarily so much in transition, but at the same time, if you build some good players around them, they could be really something. And Alyssa Smith is a good scorer. Obviously, she poked the bear yesterday. It didn't work out, but she's been pretty decent. And look, Kelsey Mitchell's not a bad player. But it is that fifth spot that it's probably not even going to be Temi Fagbenle when she comes back, because I don't know how Alyssa Smith's going to play at the 3. I don't know how Wallace is going to do, but there is a perfect player to play on that wing. Because if you want to look at this team, what do they need? They need defense, they need scoring. And people like Christy Wallace give them neither. Defense more so than anything. And they have a player sitting on the end of their bench that would be perfect. Before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We've just hit 11,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support recently. It has been crazy. 11,000. We had 10,000 like at 6 a.m. last night. We're nearly at like 1,000. We're at 1,026 hours or something. It is absolutely nuts. So thank you guys so much for all the support. But anyway, that player, Celeste Taylor. So if you guys don't know who Celeste Taylor is, she was Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC for Duke. Then went to Ohio State and won Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. She is a wing defender. And just even look at this possession right here. Her on DeWanna Bonner. That is better defense on the perimeter than anyone has played so far. She got through a screen. If you guys know anything about the Fever, you guys know none of them know how to get by screens. Look at this. Look at this defense. She actually went around both of the screens and recovered. That is something that the Fever players don't seem to understand, especially, in fairness, especially Caitlin Clark. She's the worst player I've ever seen at getting through screens. But she actually defended a pin down properly, getting around the screens and recover. And if you look here, this year, Indiana Fever drafted 2 times Women's Defensive Player of the Year finalist. She was 2 times Conference Defensive Player of the Year, 2 times Women's Defensive Player of the Year finalist. And despite the Fever having the worst defensive rating in the league by a massive margin, Celeste, or Christy Sides, has played her total of 15 minutes so far this season. 15 minutes, and I think she played a couple of minutes against the Dream. She's played less than 20 minutes this season. She is exactly what the team needs. And you might be saying, oh, maybe she's not as good as some of these other players. Christy Wallace has scored 500 WNBA points. She was drafted in 2018. She shoots under 30% on wide open threes. Christy Wallace shoots under 30% wide open threes. I don't know what the hell she got scared trying to shoot a game winner. I don't know what the hell she was doing. The worst part is if she was in control of her body with the way the defender played, she had a wide open layup. But she went for some weird reverse layup, didn't get there far enough, just threw the ball up in the air for a game winner. So, I don't know what the hell Christy Wallace... Look, Christy Wallace, she's just bad. Look, she doesn't take away from the team, I will say. Christy Wallace does not take away from the team. She just can't play defense, she can't really play offense. It just is what it is. Lexi Hull can't do anything other than stand in the corner on the offensive end, scared to walk inside the three-point line, and is a mediocre defender. Whereas Celeste Taylor at least is going to give you defense. She's not that bad a shooter. She was shooting in the low 30s through college. She can shoot it a little bit. She's not going to be as good a shooter as Wallace. Not going to be as good a shooter as Hull. She's a good enough shooter that you can't leave her wide open, but she's not a good enough shooter that you would say she's a shooter. But that's fine. You let Kennedy Carter drop 15 points in the first quarter on you because nobody could guard her. No one could guard her. So why not just give her a chance on Wallace? Why not give her a chance, sorry, not on Wallace, on Kennedy Carter, and you at least, I don't know, give Caitlin Clark the task of guarding Mabry. I don't know. For a few minutes. At least use her as an option. And as well as that on offense, she runs the floor. That is literally all you have to do is surround Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston with 3 players who play defense and run the floor. And they're a top 3 team in the WNBA. I'm not joking. You add one of the better centers in the WNBA. I'm not going to say best. She's not Jonquel Jones. I'm trying to think best centers. If you consider Dariqa Hamby a center, she's better than her. But I'm like, if you look at centers for teams, who is better? The Liberty have a better center in Jonquel Jones. The dream, Tina Charles in her prime was better. I don't think 37-year-old Tina Charles is better than Aaliyah Boston. The Chicago Sky, Aaliyah Boston is better than Cardoso. The Dallas Wings are just crippled right now. The Aces, she's better than the Aces center. Sparks, maybe Hamby. Lynx, no, like Collier is better but plays power forward. Jonquil Jones is better. Brittany Griner is a different type of center, but if this team runs, Brittany Griner can't keep up. The Seattle Storm, Magbagor versus Aaliyah Boston is a genuine shout, one. I would probably take Magbagor, but it's close. And the Mystics, Boston's better than Dolson. So you've got a really good center. You've got the best floor general in the WNBA, not named Chelsea Gray. And you've then got, unlike Chelsea Gray, she scores better than Chelsea Gray. And then you just surround those two players with runners. Like, Nalissa Smith is fine. Like, look, she doesn't play defense, but she is fine. They will struggle against Twin Tower teams because Nalissa Smith has to guard somebody, like the Sky. But in general, Nalissa Smith's fine. She's fine. She can score the ball and she's got great touch around the basket. Didn't have the greatest game yesterday, but she's fine. Kelsey Mitchell. You see, I don't know about the Kelsey Mitchell long-term fit, but I think Kelsey Mitchell's a good player. Like, I think she's just wild. She's just absolutely wild. I don't know how she fits with Caitlin Clark, but at the same time, like, if you can't replace her with an all-star level shooting guard, fit doesn't really matter. So if you're gonna keep those four, you got to get a Celeste Taylor. You got to put Celeste Taylor into that starting lineup. You just do. The lineup is going to work better because Celeste Taylor is going to get 6 points a game by just running the floor. That's more than Christy Wallace averages. She's going to get 6 points a game running the floor, and she's going to actually play defense. She doesn't have to do anything else. If she hits a three, she can't shoot much worse than Christy Wallace has been. She can't shoot that much worse than Lexi Hull. She can't shoot that much worse than Katie Lou at times. But she'll at least play defense. Like, I'm watching this team, and I'm like, none of them can play defense. None of them. Not even Erica Wheeler. People are like, she's a good defender. No, she just runs around fouling people and sometimes takes charges, sometimes gets away with hacks, and sometimes fouls in the most dumb situations possible. She just runs around fouling. That's not defense. Like, she's literally like... If you guys have played basketball when you were a kid, there was always a player that was never really good at basketball, but they were just the most energetic and just ran around hitting people. But the referees weren't very good, so they just let them do it. So everyone thought this guy was a great defender at like really low-level basketball. That's literally Erica Wheeler on the pro level. Whereas you've got an actual good defender, someone who actually knows how to play defense off the ball, which no one on this team can do, including Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark's the worst I've ever seen at it. She actually can guard off the ball. She can guard on the ball. She can guard off the ball. She runs. I don't care if she can't do anything else. I couldn't care less if she couldn't dribble the ball. All this team needs is those three things from that third starter. I couldn't care less if she couldn't do anything else. Like, their players aren't shooting anyway. But Celeste Taylor has to play. She just has to play. I don't care if she was a second-round pick. I don't care that you might have made some deal to get Christy Wallace there when you were in Atlanta. I don't care that you're paying Erica Wheeler a max contract. They suck. Like, again, I'm not going to blame Christy Wallace because Christy Wallace, other than when she got scared to get him, she doesn't do dumb things. She's just not very good. Erica Wheeler is the opposite because she takes away from the team. Whereas Kelsey Mitchell at times takes away from the team, but she's good enough that she can do it. Erica Wheeler just sucks. She sucks and takes away from the team. Christy Wallace just sucks in general. Lexi Hull's not very good. But it's bad when people are asking for Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull's not great. Katie Lou has had her worst game I've ever seen yesterday. She just fouls for no reason. She literally just hacks for no reason at the dumbest possible times. And you're looking at this team crying out for I've been saying they need like a Dejanay Carrington. They have got a player in that mold, obviously not as good as Carrington, but they've got a player sitting on the end of their bench that is the same type of player, and they won't use her. Okay, Nick, calm down. Calm down. We all know this coach is incompetent. We all know she's incompetent. But please, play Celeste Taylor. Please.